This is an example for lab number 4. Lab number 4 is about IPR construction. IPR is inflow performance relationship. This tells you how the reservoir can deliver gas to the bottom hole. When you talk about performance, it's actually you are looking at the inflow rate. So what's going to change the inflow rate is the bottom hole pressure, because the reservoir pressure is fixed. So the bottom hole pressure is going to change the flow rate. So the flow rate is going to depend on the bottom hole pressure. So we want to plot the bottom hole pressure versus flow rate. So what do you need? You need the gas specific gravity, the mole fraction of the 3 impurities, nitrogen, carbon dioxide, and hydrogen sulfide. Then we need the average reservoir pressure. You know, the reservoir pressure is fixed. The only thing that changes is the bottom hole pressure. Then the reservoir temperature, 180. Then in order to use it, we are going to be using the template. In order to use the template, I need 2 test points, which means I need to know the flow rate at a particular bottom hole pressure for 2 points. For example, I know the flow rate is 1152 when the bottom hole pressure is 3025, and I know that the flow rate is 1548 when the bottom hole pressure is 1685. So with these 2 known values, I can find the flow rate at any bottom hole pressure. So first of all, let's determine the range of bottom hole pressure. The minimum bottom hole pressure is going to be 0. That's theoretically. The reservoir will never be 0, but theoretically the minimum bottom hole pressure you can go is 0. Then the maximum bottom hole pressure you can get to is the reservoir pressure, which is 4505 in this case. The bottom hole pressure can never be greater than the reservoir pressure. Actually, in fact, when the bottom hole pressure equals the reservoir pressure, there can't be any flow. The flow rate will be 0, because the down pressure is 0. So what you're going to do is you click on the template IPR empirical deliverability. You click on that. It's going to download. After I download, you click on it. You open the Excel. It's going to open the Excel for you. You have to scroll to the top. Make sure it's okay at the top there. So at the top, you see from cell F8 or F6. From F7 actually, that's when you start your data. You have to fill in the data according to what you are given. This is my own example, okay? The reservoir pressure is 4505. The first test point, 1152 3025. Let me show you. See, 1152 3025. Then the second test point, 1548 1685. 1548 1685. Okay, so the reservoir temperature 180. Then the mole fraction, the specific gravity is 0.65. Then the 3 mole fractions 0.1, 0.08, and 0.02. So that's complete. Now you notice that there's a red number here. Whatever it is there, that's what I'm going to be changing. That's the bottom hole pressure, flowing bottom hole pressure. Because we want to change the bottom hole pressure and let the template calculate the reservoir, the inflow rate. This template works with macro, which means I have to run the template using macro. So I can only do one bottom hole pressure at a time. So we're going to start from 0. I put 0 there. I'm going to run for 0. Then if you look at the example, I say use bottom hole pressure interval of 500, which means after I run 0, the next one I run will be 500, then the next one will be 1000. Okay, so let's run the 0 first. So if I want to run 0, I'm going to open, I say view, I click on view. It's going to see, you see macros on the right, so you open macros. Now when you open macro, it's going to show you list of macros in the workbook, but there's only one here, solution. Sometimes you might not find the macro. It's not going to list the macro. The reason is that your Excel, the Excel you have on your laptop, has disabled the macro. So what you need to do in that case, let me show you. This one has macro, but I just want to show you in case you see that. So what you do is you go to view, you go to file, you scroll to the bottom, options. You see options. Most Excel versions, they are the same like this. So when you click view, file options, then you click on Trust Center. Trust Center. You see Trust Center? You click on that. Then you click on Trust Center settings. Okay. Now I show you a lot of things. So you click on macro settings. See, in my own case, it says enabled all macros. That's what you have to click. In your own case, why you don't see the macro showing up is because you see one of these selected, whether it's disable all or disable all macros. One of these has been selected. So you have to select the last one, enable all macros. Then you check this. Then you do OK and OK again. Okay, now you can run macros. So let's run the first one. 0. What I just did, you don't have to do it if you see the macro. It's only when you don't see the macro solution, you have to go. Now, actually, if you enable the macro, you have to close the workbook and reopen it again because it won't save. So if you enable the macro, I have to close it, then reopen again. I don't want to close this one. So now what we're going to do is I want to run this macro. I'm going to do macro, view macros. Now I'm going to do run. It's already highlighted, so I just do run. So it's going to run the macros. Now remember in this class, okay, the objective function, which is the residual, is 0. That's good. That's a good run. Now, this template gives you 4 solutions. If you follow the note, you have 4 solutions. Forch-Eimer with pressure approach. That's the first one. Second one is Forch-Eimer pressure squad approach. Third one is back pressure approach. And the last one is back pressure squad approach. We're going to be using this last one in all our exercises. Okay, just take note. And that's why I highlight it yellow, for you to know that's the one we're going to be using. All those solutions are in green, but we're going to be using the last one, the one that is highlighted yellow. So now this one gives me 1709 mega standard cubic feet per day. So I'm going to create a table just beneath it. It's just for me to create the table data. So I have Q, inflow rate. Let that one be on the left. Then this is my pressure. I will show you why you do that. Now, bottom hole pressure, WF. Okay. So the first one I ran for bottom hole pressure of 0. You notice that when the bottom hole pressure is 0, that is the maximum flow rate you can ever have. And it's going to be what? 17 609. You know that if I increase the bottom hole pressure, the difference between the reservoir pressure and bottom hole pressure is going to reduce. So the flow rate will reduce because the drawdown pressure reduce. So the next one is going to be what? I said use interval of 500. In your own lab work, you are going to be using interval of 400. But mine is 500, so I will put 500, yeah? Again, don't do, in your own case, you put 400 there, not 500. And I will let Excel calculate the next one for me. So once you put 0 and 500, Excel is so intelligent. If you highlight both numbers and you pick the edge there, you see, and you copy like that, Excel is going to be calculating the next one. It knows you are doing interval. So 1000, you see the tip is going to be showing you, I want to get to 4500. I get to 45. That's 45. Okay. In your own case, you get to 4800, and then you do it 400. But the last one must be the reservoir pressure, which is 4505 in my case. So I have to change this to 4505. So when the bottom hole pressure equals 4505, I expect the flow rate here to be 0. You will see. So let's run the next one, which is 500. I'm going to scroll up. You scroll up to the up. So I will change this to 500. Then I run the macro again. Macro run. Go to your number. That's 1696. I put 1696. The next one is 1000. So I scroll up. You have to scroll up from there. So I change this to 1000. Macro run. 1654. Scroll up. Next one is 1500. See, I'm changing the one in red, okay? That's the bottom hole pressure. I'm changing the bottom hole pressure. The template is calculating the flow rate. So I run that again. So in this case, 1582. Next one is 2000. Scroll up. I change this to 2000. The bottom hole pressure. Macro. What? Okay. $14.79. Next one. 2500. Macro run. 1342. Next one. 3000. $11.62. $3,500. $930. You see, it's coming down. At the end, it should be 0. Oh, what's the next one? 40. Next one is 615. Now, the last one, in your own case too, must be the reservoir pressure, which is 4800. But in my case, it's 4505. I can tell you now it's going to be 0, okay? If it's not 0, then something is wrong with your template. So now I'm going to put 4505. So the bottom hole pressure now equals the reservoir pressure. The difference is 0. That's the drawdown. So it's going to be 0. Okay, you see? So it's 0 there. So now, once you get your data, I'm going to use this data to plot my curve. So what you do is you highlight the entire data, you do copy. Oh, I do copy, okay? Now, don't draw any graph in the template. So I'm going to open a new template. You see new, you're going to do new. If you don't see the button there, you go to File, New. Okay, File, New. You open a new workbook. You click on New Workbook. So now my data, I'm going to, let me paste it here. Paste. This is the workbook you have to send to me. So you got to name it. I'm going to save it as File, Save As. You put lab 4 with your name, your last name. You have to, let me save it to browse. I'm going to save it in a folder there. I'm going to save it in my lab work. Okay, I'm going to save it there. I'll name it lab 4. With your last name. My own last name is Lowe. Okay. Now, the next thing I'm going to show you in a different video now. I'm going to show you how to sketch the diagram. Okay.